of it. Now, it all started at the hands of these new leaked jail audios that's been surfacing as of a few days ago. It's conversations of Young Thug speaking to various of his close friends, including 21 Savage and his girlfriend Mariah the Scientist. Now, right now is one big mystery as to how these audios are being leaked, but one can only imagine that it can only come but from so many places. Now, most people are pointing the finger at Gunna, stating that his team are the ones leaking these audios in attempts to destroy Young Thug's career. But while everyone's placing the blame on Gunna, I think there's another culprit that needs to be watched. And that's Rollo. Now, if y'all remember recently, Thug and Rollo have gotten into it, and before the audios came out, Rollo threatened Young Thug, stating that he would expose something that he has in his phone if he continues playing with him. Then lo and behold, about a day later, here we have the first interrogation audio that dropped, and then just a slew of audios from his jail calls will follow almost immediately. Now, I'm not saying Rollo is the one that leaked them because we really don't know who, but that's just me observing everything leading up to the jail calls being leaked. One thing we do know for sure, though, is that whatever or wherever these leaks came from, it started from the jailhouse itself. Clearly, someone from the inside has ties to these audios being leaked, in which I don't know who or why someone would want to put their career on the line for this, but we do know it's almost guaranteed it came from the inside because no one else had access to these type of sensitive files. Now, with that being said, if I was Thug, I would file a lawsuit ASAP because that's easy money. Now, aside from all that, in one or two of these audios, Thug can be heard throwing shots at Lil Durk himself. In one audio, he states that Lil Durk jumped the gun, and he's part of the reason him and Gunna is actually beefing due to him calling him a rat and saying free Thug. In another audio, he will also state that Durk is basically just a clout chaser, and he's only saying free him for attention because he didn't even clear a song that they done together, so he's been looking at him kind of funny. Now, to Durk's defense in this situation, honestly, you could say that maybe Durk was chasing clout, or you could also say that him, along with everyone else in the world, witnessed what Gunna did in that courtroom, and he felt it was snitching. So with him and Thug having a friendship, he felt it'd be a loyal thing to not do anything with Gunna on behalf of his relationship with Thug. But as you can see, the loyalty must have not have been mutual, or it's just been one-sided. Now, of course, after the audios will go viral, OTF members will respond to them showing their support for Lil Durk, as one of the OTF members by the name of Twin would speak out via IG story as he would say, quote, "That N-word on them phones gossiping like a straight B-word." In another slide, he would say, quote, "I'll never trust an N-word that put on makeup in a dress." Then in the last slide, he would say, quote, "What case? You must send him up there today. And by the way, we don't accept money from rats." Now, if you're wondering what he's been referring to in that last message, it's because Thug would send a message to OTF members after the audios went viral. He would say, quote, "All y'all new junkies in OTF, just know I'm the one sent Brian Steele to help him on my dime." Basically letting it be known that allegedly in this new case that Durk got, he sent his lawyer that helped him in the YSL trial, who goes by the name of Brian Steele, that we all seen him with and got him a good deal, and states that he himself paid for it, not Durk. Now, I guess we'll just have to wait and see when the trial comes, which is in the next month or so, to see if Durk would be using him in the case, because as of right now, OTF Twin is saying it's cap. Plus, we do know that currently billion-dollar lawyer Drew Finland, who is the attorney for the Stars, is currently representing Durk, followed by other attorneys. Now, unless something changed, I don't know. Maybe Thug is referring to a different case that we don't know about. Who knows? Now, speaking of what OTF Twin had to say real quick, funny he says that he'll never trust an N-word that put on makeup in a dress. However, Durk did. See what I'm saying? So I wonder, was he telling him that before when they was all kicking it? Or was he just not saying anything despite him not trusting someone that wears a dress and put on makeup? Now, I bring that up because a lot of these guys be having yes men around, and that could lead to things like this. Clearly. So if you had a funny feeling and told Durk ahead of time, maybe we wouldn't have to hear Thug calling him a clout chaser because they wouldn't have been that close because you put him on. And not only that, but I couldn't help but realize that he says that they don't accept money from rats, which I'm sure would mean that they don't associate with them neither. But then I see that he's following Boston. Never mind. Now, let's get into the audios. The first one is going to be of Thug having a convo with 21 Savage and basically stating that Durk is part of the reason him and Gunna fell out. And then the second audio is going to be of him calling Durk a clout chaser and speaking about him not clearing a record. Now, before we get into it again, one thing I realized is 21 Savage and Lil Durk have a good relationship, right? Friendship or whatever, so we seen. We seen that 21 Savage say that, you know, he was there with Durk when he found out that King Von was shot and unalive. Then we seen that he allegedly brought the Range Rover for Kayla B because she dated his brother. So why is he on the phone having these conversations with Young Thug? Now, I know people are going to say, well, Young Thug is the one that said it, not 21 Savage, but don't tell me that somebody's talking about me. Tell me why they feel so comfortable telling you if you're my friend.
That part.
Right? But anyway, let's get into these audios. Y'all check this out.
Man, you want Jeff Williams in the car. It was a gun and drugs in the car. Was it yours?
You probably said that though, bro.
100%, but you.
That's the only part I don't agree with. I disagree with you on that. Keep that ass on. But that, like, it wasn't drugs neither. It was who took the charge.
Yeah.
Cause I don't, in my heart, bro, I don't feel like Charlie did what he did with the intention of hurting you. You feel what I'm saying? I don't really get that vibe from him. I feel like he just green. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
you know what happened? All right, so let's break this down real quick, right? It's not that Gunna snitched. This is what people not understanding. And I know y'all gonna say, well, who you said he snitched? Let me break it down why. Right? There's a difference between pointing somebody out, yo, he snitched, he did this, and saying exactly what happened, right? And there's a difference when the judge asks you because you basically pleaded. And this is why they say if you have co-defendants on your case, you're not supposed to plea out unless it's a group effort. Because you gotta remember, whenever you plead out,
Facts.
You're basically admitting guilt to the crime.
Facts.
Right? So you're admitting guilt to the crime, making it harder for whoever don't want to plea out to say that there wasn't a crime committed. So when the judge says, you do have knowledge, right? You have knowledge that YSL is a gang and a music label, and you also have knowledge of the members doing crimes in furtherance of YSL the gang. Once you say yes, technically it's snitching, right?